Hi everyone. The topic of the day is obligation with must and have to and make and let. Now let's look at this picture and let's see what it is written there. You mustn't pull the cat's tail, says the girl, and the boy says, I'm not, I'm just holding it. It's the cat that is pulling it. So, you mustn't pull. As you can see, an example with must or mustn't, and then we will continue with have to, of course. Starting with have to as an obligation. We often use have to say that something is obligatory, which means you have to do it, you are forced to do it. For example, children have to go to school. Note that we can use the have to expression in all tenses. For example, he has to, he had to in the past, he has had to, he will have to. Some other examples? In France, you have to drive on the right. In England, most school children have to wear a uniform. John has to wear a tie at work. In each of the above cases, the obligation is not the subject's opinion or idea. The obligation comes from outside. So, with this obligation have to, the rules come from outside. It's not because you decide it for yourself, personal. No, others decide for this. What about don't have to? Don't have to means that there isn't any obligation at all. It means that there is no need to do it. Don't have to is different from shouldn't and mustn't. Let's see the examples and then you can understand better. I don't have to get up early on Sundays. It means that I can stay in bed as long as I want. You mustn't tell lies. It means that it's very bad to tell lies. You don't have to go with her, which means you can go with her if you want to. So you don't have to go, you are not obliged to go, only if you want. Now you can practice a little bit. There is an exercise, you have to choose have to or has to, or don't have to or doesn't have to, depending on the subject. For example, every man, ... do military service in my country. It's obligatory. So remember what is obligatory, what do we use. And then the rest of them you can do by yourself, of course. Let's see must now as an obligation. We often use must to say that something is essential or necessary. For example, I must go. Must is a modal auxiliary verb. It is followed by a main verb. In general, must expresses personal obligation. Must expresses what the speaker thinks is necessary, which means that it comes from people inside of them. It's personal. Must is subjective. Look at the examples and you can understand. I must stop smoking. You must visit us soon. He must work harder. Not allowed to and mustn't. We use not allowed to and mustn't to say that something is not permitted. It means that you cannot decide if you want to do it or not. It's a rule, let's say. Not allowed to often describes rules. Example, they aren't allowed to speak out loud. Maybe in a library or it doesn't matter, but the rule is that you cannot do it. You are not allowed to do it. The past form is wasn't or weren't allowed to. They weren't allowed to take breaks. What about mustn't? Mustn't is often used for strong advice or recommendations. Example, you mustn't go there. This is my suggestion, like you can do whatever you want, but a strong advice of mine. Moving to let. Let, how is the structure of the sentence? There must be a subject in the beginning, plus let, plus an object, and plus bare infinitive. Bare infinitive means infinitive without to, no to here. Let can mean allow or give permission. Example, David's mother let him use her car. So, what is the subject here? David's mother. Let, as we saw, object is him. Use the bare infinitive without to. Next example, our boss let us leave early. Here again, our boss is the subject, let, us is the object, leave is the bare infinitive, no to. We can also use let to mean allow in the sense of make something possible. Example, this student card lets you book discount flights. You can buy a pass which lets you visit all the art galleries more cheaply. And the last one, make. How is the structure of make? It will be subject plus make plus an object plus bare infinitive. Again here we don't use to. Make can mean force someone to do something that he or she doesn't want to do. Example, his mother made him clean his room. So, his mother made him, he didn't want. Let's see the sentence and the structure. Subject, who, his mother. Make, made in the past tense. Object, him. And bare infinitive, clean. Made him clean. The teacher made us study very hard. Even though we didn't want, for example, she made us study. The teacher subject, made, us object, study bare infinitive. It can also be used to mean cause someone to do something. The thing can be good or bad, doesn't matter. That film made me cry, so something happened, it made something happen. My brother often makes me laugh, so it can be good or bad.